Hello, my name is Dr. Kate Ringham and I'm the Programme Lead in Applied Accounting at Oxford Brookes Business School in Oxford Brookes University. And this video is looking at when we use quotation marks when we're referencing. So the reason we use quotation marks is when we want to indicate that words are a direct copy of the original text. So we're using quotation marks, and that might be single quotation marks or double quotation marks, but do be consistent when we have actually copied word for word an author's words. So let's look at an example of this. We found an article about brand strength and margin. It's from McKinsey, the management consultants. And you can see there that I've put the web address where I found this particular article. So we found that article, we've read that article, and when we look at it, we found a sentence that we think is such a good explanation, we want to copy it directly. So the phrase I've identified is that strong brands create trust and reduce the risk of wrong decisions. And I recognise that that's such a good explanation that I want to use those words directly in my work. So how do I do that? Well, I identify the words that I'm including within quotation marks. This shows it's a direct quote. So for example, I might be saying the usefulness of a strong brand has been highlighted as, and the authors of that article with the date say, open quotation marks, strong brands create trust and reduce the risk of wrong decisions. Close quotation marks. So within the quotation marks, I have taken the exact words from the article. You can phrase things slightly differently as you're writing. So for example, I might say that strong brand can be useful as, open quotation marks, the exact words, strong brands create trust and reduce the risk of the wrong decision, close quotation marks. And here I'm putting the authors and the date in brackets after that direct quote. So as you can see, we're using quotation marks when we have directly copied the words from an article. But is that the best? Well, actually, it's not. Paraphrasing is better. So what do we mean by paraphrasing? Well, this is where we take the idea that the authors have presented and put it in our own words, because it then demonstrates that we actually understand the idea that we're using. So if we take that same concept about strong brands creating trust, we could in our work say authors and the date suggest that the risk associated with decision making can be reduced if trust is built by a strong brand. So we're not using quotation marks here because we have not taken the exact words from the text, but we do need to include the authors and the date because this is we are using the idea that those particular authors came up with. So when we're thinking about our work, we should see lots more paraphrasing than direct quotes. Direct quotes are really only used when the actual words are important. So if we're quoting an accounting standard or a piece of law or a regulation, there the words are really, really important. So we do want to include those as direct quotes. Let's go back then and think about how we then include that citation. So let's go back and think about who are the authors. So if we go back to the original article, you can see that the authors have actually been identified. So it's not just McKinsey, it's actually people working at McKinsey. And we can see we've got Thomas Bayer, Matthias Kuhlmann, Jon Cooper and Alexander Mathy. And they are the authors of that particular article. So when we include those authors, we use the surname in the text. And because there's 4 of those people, for the first time we'll include 4 and then we might use et al. So Bauer et al. Afterwards. In the reference list, so in your separate documents, the reference list, you use the surname and the initial of the person in the reference list. The date that we're looking for is the date of publication, so we can identify from that original article the date of publication being 2021. So we include that as well. Please do go along to the YouTube channel, have a look at the videos there. There's lots more videos on referencing and paraphrasing. If you subscribe to the referencing playlist, you'll always get notifications of the updates. So please do have a look at the dedicated channel. I hope you found this useful.